Hello, I'm Simon Cotter. I'm currently Beaumaris and Menai Bridge Camera Club's Competition Secretary. This is a video tutorial I've created to help members prepare their images for the club's projected digital image PDI competitions using Lightroom 5. There are also similar videos on preparing PDI images using Photoshop CS and Photoshop Elements, which you can find on the Downloads page of the club's website, www.bmbcc.co.uk. Now, whilst this tutorial is specifically intended to prepare images for Beaumaris and Menai Bridge PDI competitions, it should also be applicable to most other UK digital projected image competitions and exhibitions, though you may need to change the naming format depending on the requirements of the competition or exhibition you're going in for. Okay, so although I've used Lightroom 5 for this tutorial, it should also be applicable to Lightroom 6, Lightroom CC, and earlier versions of Lightroom as well, Lightroom 4, etc. Now, I'm not going to go into depth about the theory behind why PDI files need to be prepared in this way. They're intended to do this so they give you the best chance of your image projecting correctly on the screen during competitions. It's intended to be a how-to video more. However, at the end of this tutorial I will show you some links to some further information which you can look at. As also with anything in Photoshop and Lightroom, there's more than one way of achieving the end result. This is just the way I use, and again I'll tell you about a different method that you can use within Lightroom to do this. Okay, so what are we going to do to cover? Using the export module in Lightroom, renaming your files, file settings to make sRGB color profile JPEG, resizing to 1400 pixels for a landscape, 1050 pixels for a portrait or square image, then applying output sharpening if you want to. You can then save that as a preset, so once you've gone through all that you can then just apply it and just do it again. You don't need to keep doing it all the time. And then, as I mentioned, I'll talk about further information and help that you can use. Okay, so let's go over to Lightroom. Alright, so in Lightroom you'll first have your images selected that you're going to put into the competition. Now, these may be in individual folders, or you may have created a catalogue and put them in there ready for exporting as JPEGs. So you need to be in the library module, and then you want to click on the export button. So that will bring up this dialog box. First thing you need to do is decide where you're going to put it. You're probably going to put it onto the hard drive. You may put them onto a CD or DVD. It's up to you, but okay, I'll assume it's going to be hard drive. So then you'd choose if you're going to put in a specific folder, the same folder as the original photos or whatever else. And then from this, in that case, for a specific folder, you then choose where you're going to put it. Okay. The next bit is optional at this stage, and that's file renaming. Now, you can either just go through this and it will give it an automatic, give it just a name, or you can use this system to actually format it in the correct format that the files need to have to be able to be displayed correctly using the competition software that we use. So I'll take you through that. If you're going to use this, if it's off, then it will just give you whatever the name is. It'll use the file name that's in there and just take it a JPEG. If not, you click rename, custom settings, go down to edit, brings up this dialog box. Right, the first thing you need to put in is a number from 1 to 4. This is the priority number for your image. In our competitions, if we have too many projected PDI images, then we will cull the lowest priority numbers. So your lowest priority image will be a 4 if you put all 4 in. Your highest will be 1. So I'm going to say this is number 1. So that's 1. Next, need to put a dash, not a space or an underscore, a dash. Then your membership number. Now, if your membership number is less than 100, you need to put a leading 0 in. This is required by the software. So mine's 50, so it's 050. Another dash, and then the title. Now, you can either put that in, or if you've already set the title up as I have on the image in the metadata here, Penrose Point, then you can put insert title and click done. And now that's showing you it's going to call this number 1-050-Penrose Point. Okay. Right, moving down now to the file settings. Image format. You want this to be in JPEG. We've got different options, but for this you want JPEG. Quality, I'd put it up to 100. It's going to be okay. These aren't massive files, and 100 will still be small enough for you to email. Color space, you want to put it into sRGB. ProPhoto RGB is what Lightroom default, well, actually it's the only one it does, it is standard, but for the export you need to change it to sRGB. That's also the best one for putting images onto the internet as well, by the way. Next you want to resize the image, and you want to resize to fit. You've got different options, but I'd suggest use long edge. Now as this one, that's the image that I'm looking at here, is a landscape format. I know it's a landscape image, but it's a landscape format as opposed to a square or portrait format. So the longest dimension on that's going to be 1400 pixels. Don't worry about the resolution. The next bit is sharpen. It's up to you, but reducing the size of an image is probably what you're going to do using the resize, tends to make the image a little blurred, reduces some of the sharpness. So you've got the option here to correct for that. There's actually different ones here for papers, but you're probably not going to do it at this stage. So click screen, and then the amount. That's low, standard, and high. It's up to you. You know, alter that to taste. The next is metadata. Metadata is all the information that's included when you take the image and process it. That's included within the EXIF file for the file that you're working on. In Lightroom you can't remove it completely, but I wouldn't put all metadata or anything like that, and probably just put either copyright only is probably the best thing to do. Watermark, you don't want a watermark because there should be nothing else on the image. And then after post-processing, this is after it's done, it created the JPEG, what do you want to do? Click on Show in Explorer, I would suggest. The reason for that is it actually just it'll bring it up in Explorer, or whatever the Mac equivalent of that is, and let you just check to see the images there. Now you can just click Export, and it'll then run and do that. But once you've gone through all that, you can save that as a preset. Use the Add button, and then you give it a name. So if I call this BMBCC 1400 wide, great, that brings it up at the top there. So that's now saved all of that, and in future I can just sort of click on that, and I can actually select a number of images and click on that, and it will run them. So in actual fact, I'll show you that now. If I cancel this at the moment, select that one as well, because they're both landscape images, click on Export, click on that, and then Export. It runs the two of them, and there you are. You've got two images now that have been changed. Now they've both got the same priority number, so you probably need to change that. So if that's say that's number 1, I'm going to change that one to number 2, priority 2. And again, if I right click on this and you have a look at properties, I go to details, you'll see it's a 1400 by 1020 dimension image, and it's a JPEG image. Okay, and size 1.71. It's a bit large, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. So we'll come back to this. So that's how you do that for a landscape image. Now, if you've got a square or a portrait image, then you just go through exactly the same process. Again, where you're going to put it, what folder you're going to put it into, the naming, the same situation, using your priority number, your membership number, and the title with spaces, dashes in between. File settings, a JPEG, an sRGB. Resize to fit long edge. This is where you change that. So now you want your long edge, which is going to be your height, to be 1050. 1050. Again, sharpening for screen, standard on that one. The metadata copyright, no watermark. Where you're going to put it. And again, add, so I'll make this one BMBCC 1050 high. Create that, and now if I run that one, it brings it up. You see I've got another one there. Now again, I've got a 1, 2, I'll make that one number 3. And now if I click on the properties for this one, and details, that's a 1050 by 1050 pixel JPEG. Okay. Right. Now, I did say that there was some further information and also another way of doing this. So, again, on the club's website, on the downloads page, there are the LNCPU 2012 guidelines for preparing digital images for competitions. Now, this has detailed information on how to prepare images for Lightroom, Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. The version for Lightroom uses the print module. Now I haven't used this myself, but it allows you to put a border around the image if you want to, a coloured border, a stroke around it, and also to extend the image so that it covers 1400 by 1050 with black background, which you may want to do. That's something that you can do in Photoshop. There's also other guides here, Dave Flitcroft's guide to preparing digital images for competitions, and then on our links page in the information there's links to more information and another video tutorial that's been done on preparing images. Okay, right, so now these are only recommendations. Yeah, feel free to change them and use them as you want to. At the end of the day though, what we need for club competitions is a 1400 by 1050 pixel JPEG in sRGB color profile with the right naming convention. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for your time.